Hey, this is Max here, and in this video I want to show you how you can use message variables inside ActiveCampaign. I think it's like a really easy thing to set up, and it's also really handy. So let's just dive right in, and then I'll show you where you can find it, how you can use them, and I will show you some examples. So when you're inside ActiveCampaign, what you have to do is you have to go over to Campaigns, and then you have to go over to Manage Variables. Now then over here you see a quick overview of the variables that I already have set up. So yeah, a variable is basically like, it's kind of a personalization tag, but then just like a variable like this that you can use inside your emails to display some content. So here, for example, I have a variable that is named signature. And like the name already says it, inside this variable is my signature. Now why this is really handy is because this way you can just use the signature variable inside an email like I did here. So you see here, talk soon, and then you see here my signature and then a PS. Now why that is handy is that because if I want to change my signature, I only have to do it in one place, and when I update it, then that variable, then it will be changed in all my emails. Because if you don't do that, you have to go over all your emails and you have to change all your signatures. So this is really not so handy. So how do you set that variable up? So inside Manage Variables, it's actually really simple. You just click Add, and then you can give it a personalization name and a personalization tag. So this is the thing that you will use. So if you would name it, for example, signature, then you would just use the %, signature, %, like I did over here. And then you can give it a name. This is just for your own reference. It doesn't really matter how you name this. And then for which lists you want to use this. So if you want, you can also have a different signature for different lists. So in this case, I don't do that. I want to have it for my customer list and my main list. And then you have to choose a format. So I'm always using HTML. So if you want to use what I just did over here. So let's go over to my signature, the other one here. Then you see here that I inserted an image. So to do that, you have to go to the code editor, and then very simple, you have to add some HTML to add that image in there. So you see here that I open with image, then the URL of my image, then the alt tag of the image. This is really important with email. So you see here that the alt tag of my image is this Max van Kollenberg, and then also the dimensions of that picture. So that is basically everything you have to do. Then you can maybe check in the visual editor if it is like how you want it to be. And then you just click update, and then you created a variable. So some other ones that I used are, for example, greeting. So I always open my emails with hey Max, or if I don't know your first name, then I'll just say hey. So to do that, I here have hey, and then here hey, and then the first name personalization tag in title case. And then with some conditional content, so here I check, okay, if the first name is not empty, then show hey Max. Else, so if it is empty, then we'll just say hey. And I kind of found it a bother to do this in all of my emails, to every time paste this inside my email at the top over here, or in the HTML editor, or also in another way. So what I like doing was to set up this, and then now I can just use the greeting message variable at the top. I will just say here, greeting, and then in the emails, it will just automatically convert that to hey Max, or to hey in case I don't know the first name. So that's another one that I found really handy. Now then another one that I really want to show you is the unsubscribe variable. So you probably know you need to have an option to unsubscribe inside your emails. So by default, ActiveCampaign will add something like this, like send to, and then the email address, and then an unsubscribe link. But I don't think this is necessarily the nicest way that you can do this. So what I like doing is to insert a text like this. So it just says unsubscribe if you don't want to receive my emails about growing your business with marketing automation anymore. And then I've crafted this email with a lot of passion, blah, 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 blah. My business address is sender info single line. You need to include your address. This has something to do with some kind of spam guidelines. And then inside the unsubscribe link, you can see that over here, we have here the href code. So this is like the link, right? And then inside the link, so instead of linking to a page, you link to the variable percent unsubscribe link percent, and then when someone clicks that link, then they get unsubscribed from your list. And also by including this inside your email, the default unsubscribe line that ActiveCampaign adds to your emails will also disappear. I'll also show you that in a bit. Now, what you can also do is I have this unsubscribe variable, and then I also have another unsubscribe variable for promotions. So most of my emails, they're all based around value. So I really like to send out valuable content, but some of my emails are also going to be promotions. Then I tell someone about a cool offer, and I want to make it really easy for people to opt out of the offer, but not to unsubscribe from my list completely. That would really be a shame. So to do that, I added this line here. Then it says, not interested in this offer, just click here and it won't bother you anymore about it. Now this link, the click here link, is just a page on my website. So it says here maxvalkenburg.com/not interested. And then I have an automation running in the background that when that link is clicked, then it takes them out of the promotion or offer automation. So it's just a slightly different setup. And then in my email, I would just use unsubscribe-promo. So let me show you what that looks like when we actually send it to someone. So here you see we have the greeting personalization tag, or the message variable, the signature message variable, and the unsubscribe message variable. So if we're going over here, and then we're just going to send it to one of my fake test accounts. So then we see it says send test. Then we go over here, then we wait for the email, then you see it's here. And then you see that it replaced all these things, right? See, here it says, hey, Emma. And then here is my signature. And then here we have the unsubscribe line. Now let's swap it up a bit. Imagine this contact that we just sent the email to does not have a first name. And imagine this is a promotion. Then all I have to do is have to add here unsubscribe-promo. Then I send it here to Emma Doe, send test. And then we quickly wait for the email. And then you see here that it doesn't say, hey, Emma, because it doesn't know the first name. So it just says, hey. Then it continues with the email, my signature, and then a different unsubscribe line. And then you also see down here that there is no other default unsubscribe line from ActiveCampaign because they recognize the unsubscribe link. So yeah, I think this is really, really handy. I really like using this inside my emails, like I said, to if I ever want to change the greeting in all my emails, only have to do it in one place. Same for the signature, same for the unsubscribe line. But you can also use this for other things. You could, for example, also create a message variable of maybe your latest articles, or maybe you have a really important sales page that you use often inside your emails. Then maybe you want to consider putting that link to that important sales page inside a variable in case you ever change that link, because then you only have to change it in one place and then it will change everywhere. So I hope that this quick tutorial was helpful. I found this really, really handy, these message variables. So I hope this is helpful to you too. And if you have any questions about it, just let me know in the comments below.